Hello everyone, welcome back to Excel series episode number 5. So, imagine your manager gives you an Excel file with 50 students and asks you three questions. First, who passed? Second, how many students passed? And finally, what are the total marks scored by the only the math students? So, would you calculate everything manually? Definitely not, right? So, in today's video, I will show you the three powerful Excel functions that can do all of this in just a few seconds. We will learn if, COUNTIF, and SUMIF using one practical data set. Let's begin. So, this data set contains four columns consisting of student's name, subject, and marks, and then results. We are going to create the result column ourselves using the if function. So, what is meant by if? The if function helps Excel make decisions. Think about it like this: if it is raining, take an umbrella, otherwise, don't. That's exactly how Excel thinks. So, what is the syntax for if function? Equal to if I'm saying that let's give a condition for this. If the student scored more than or equal to 35, he is pass or else he is failed in the examination. So for that I'm giving a condition called like equal to if select a cell and just give a condition greater than or equal to 35 comma open the double quotes and say that he is passed. Okay, and close the double quotes and then again insert comma and then say if not he is fail. Let's understand this the syntax. See, I'm saying that equal to if the cell is greater than or equal to 35, mention here as pass or else mention it as fail. I'm just clicking the enter. So pass. Instead of inserting the formula into the every cell, just do double click here at the bottom right of the cell. You'll autofill the entire column. So you'll get to know who is passed and who is failed with the if statement instead of searching like manually who is above 35 or who is equal to 35. It is a best way for within a seconds you can fill it out with if function who is passed or who is not. So automatically so Excel automatically checks every student whether he is pass or fail. So like in real office, how do you use these conditions? Like companies use if everywhere. For example, if your manager wants to check to whom you he wants to give an employee bonus, or in a bank how to check a loan approval, or in a college or a school you have to check a attendance above 75% is eligible for a test, or below 75 is non-eligible, then you will use this if functions. And then whether the sales targeted are achieved or not. So whenever Excel needs to make a decision, you will use find an if function. So I hope you understand how to use an if function. Now going forward, we have like the next condition is that for COUNTIF. So we got to know how to check if function. Now COUNTIF. COUNTIF is used for the transition, right? So now we know who passed. Now, but imagine there are 5,000 students. Do you really want to count every pass manually? Like this fellow passed, and this is the second person, third person, fourth person, fifth. You won't manually calculate it, right? So if you want count if how many passed or how many failed, just use count if. Count if simply counts cells that meet a condition. For example, we need to know how many members are passed here, right? So for that, count if we use count if. Okay. So what is the syntax for count if? Equal to count if, open the bracket and select the range. You want to check how many hours passed, right? So select the range, comma, and open the double quotes and mention pass and close the double quotes and close the bracket. Enter. So here 42 members has passed the test. And what if you want to search for the how many members failed in the test? Then equal to count if, open the bracket, select the range where you find pass and fail, and comma, open the double quotes and just mention fail. Close the bracket. You'll see how many members failed in the test. Hope you are understanding how to use if and COUNTIF. You just need to give a condition and then you should mention what you want, like either the pass or the fail. So, or else I'll check for the subjects wise. Okay. So here I have subjects for math, science, English, etc. etc. Right? I want to know how many members have selected the maths. Okay. Equal to count if, open the bracket, select the range, comma, and then I'm just selecting the math. 18 members has chosen the math for compared to the other subjects. So this is how you have to use the count if function. So in real life, like people use it for uh finance team counts overdue invoices or sales team counts the completed orders. It's one of the most commonly used function in Excel. Now, coming to the third part, that is sum if. Sum if is used to translate, like we counter the students, okay? Now, let's calculate something like sum if adds numbers only if a condition is satisfied. For example, our managers asked what are the total marks scored by math students. So, or else what are the sales targeted or sales achieved by some of the department. Now, how do you select that? For example, equal to sum if and then select the range. That is subjects wise you are searching, right? So select the range and select the subject science and select how many marks science students has uh, received in total. So that is 999. In other way, see if I want math students, how many marks math students in total they have received. For that equal to sum if, open the bracket, which one I want? Subject wise, because I want to see the maths wise, right? Comma, select the math, comma, now choose the marks range. Now close the bracket. 1155. So it says that total math students has received 1155 marks in total. So companies use SUMIF every day because total sales from South India. I want to check the South Indian total sales, or I want to see the total expenses from marketing, or I want to check like how many total orders from premium customers has been taken. It's an essential reporting function. So it says like all three functions has uses the same condition, like it works based upon the conditions how you give your conditions. The only difference is what they do, like if function is returns a text, so count if returns a count, and sum if returns a total. If is for text, count if is for counting, and sum if is for the total. Now So these are the used every day for analysts, accountants, and HR professionals, and finance teams and data analysts as well. So if you practice these three functions, you will already be ahead for many beginners. In the next video, I'll teach you the pivot table, how to use it. So if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any Excel lessons. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.